Blue Sky has generated a fair amount of traction with 32 million user accounts on its alt social media platform in its first year. It's dwarfed by Instagram and Twitter, of course. Let's not kid ourselves. But the signs are that this platform, above all the other alternatives to the billionaire-owned services, stands the best chance of reaching critical mass. The problem is that Blue Sky is a microblogging platform, a direct alternative to Twitter, not Instagram, and you therefore get a lot of non-photography related posts in your Blue Sky feed. That all changes today with the launch of Flashes, the first Blue Sky app built specifically to provide an alternative to Instagram. It's been designed to supply a distraction-free experience without ads or algorithms. But does it deliver that? Or is it just another flash in the pan? Yes, the day has arrived. The long-awaited Instagram alternative built on the Blue Sky platform has just left beta testing and can now be downloaded and used by iPhone and iPad users everywhere. Before we get into how the app performs, so here are the headlines. Yep, it's currently iOS only. The developer has plans for an Android version, but work hasn't even started yet. It's free, but in the future it'll also have a subscription tier for enhanced features such as customization, likely to cost about $2 a month or $18 a year. You need a Blue Sky account to use it. Flashes is just a specialized client for the Blue Sky platform, not a platform itself. It uses 100% Blue Sky content. Anything you share on Flashes also appears on Blue Sky, and if it's a photograph, vice versa. All right, that's the TLDR. Let's talk about the app in a bit more depth. The best way of thinking about Flashes is this. As Blue Sky is to Threads, so Flashes is to Instagram. If you prefer visual content, i.e. photography, over microblogging, then it makes much more sense to use it than the Blue Sky app. The good news is the app looks polished from the get-go. It has a nice slick onboarding process that lays the ground rules about Blue Sky for folks who may be coming to the platform fresh. During that onboarding, they also suggest that you make a separate Blue Sky account just for photography, and I definitely echo that sentiment. I have dual Blue Sky accounts, one of which I use for general news and posts from interesting people I follow, not necessarily photographers, basically a replacement for Twitter. And the other account I keep strictly for photography and follow only other photographers. Further to that, if they're a photographer that posts loads of political stuff, then I jettison them. So I logged into my photography account on Blue Sky in the app and immediately started seeing posts by the photographers that I followed. The feed itself is very Instagram-like, and scrolling feels like Instagram when it used to be about photography and not a dopamine slot machine designed by marketing psychologists. Tapping enlarges the photo, double tapping likes it, swipe left if it's a multi-image post to see the other shots, hit the Alt icon to read a longer and more descriptive caption if the photographer's actually gone and used it. You can switch between feeds by clicking in the top center. It defaults to folks you follow and shows their posts in the order they were uploaded, not according to an algorithm. Flashes has 3 special feeds of its own: Trendy, Timeline, and Discover, all of which are fairly self-explanatory. You can also access any Blue Sky feeds you follow. I've got the general photography feed and the landscape photography feed, but there are thousands of others catering to the many niches in photography. There's also a powerful search function so you can find users, feeds, or hashtags. Posting is a familiar process to anyone that's ever used Instagram, right down to the filter options you see before entering your caption and alt tag. So far, so familiar. Flashes does have a neat trick up its sleeve though, in the form of the portfolio. Yes, you can pick out a selection of your best photos and they will appear in a special portfolio tab in your main profile. This is a great feature. It means you can give your best work a bit longer in the old limelight and showcase only those 5-star photos. Considering it's the 1.0 release of the app, I was impressed with how polished everything felt. This is during parts of the well-publicized beta testing period in which the launch features were beaten into shape. The feed itself scrolls smoothly and fast. The developer's done a great job of streamlining the caching. This is in contrast to the timeline on the iPhone Pixel Fed app, which I've also been testing, which lags quite badly when scrolling. If you want to have as pure a photographic experience as possible on flashes, then I suggest you steer clear of the regular Blue Sky Discover feed, because the kind of visual content that Flashes filters for can include the usual memes, screenshots, messages, and other non-photographic posts that people make on microblogging platforms. Feeds are self-curated, of course, and compiled from specific hashtags, so there's no guarantee you'll get a perfect crap-free feed all the time. In fact, this is the main flaw with Flashes. Since it's only checking for visual content in a Blue Sky post, you do get a hell of a lot of stuff which isn't even remotely creative or artistic in intent. This is one advantage that purely photographic platforms like Photos and Glass will have over this particular new and emerging system. So that, my friends, is Flashes. And from now on, photographers have a choice. They can choose to stick with the deeply flawed, over-commercialized, spam-infested, photography-hating, algorithmic nightmare that is Instagram, or they can help build something better. Flashes is great, and since I'm a fan of Blue Sky, I'll definitely be using it. With the Photos app now also out of beta 2, Glass getting some attention, and Pixel Fed in the frame too, it's definitely going to have some competition. Have you tried any of these new photo sharing platforms and apps? Let me know in the comments section below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you got value from it, please consider subscribing to my channel for more photo, video, and drone-related content from me. I also point you in the direction of my Substack, on which you will find a range of articles. Some are behind a paywall for my awesome paid subscribers, but there's a hell of a lot of free content on there too, so do please go and check it out. All right, that's enough. Catch you on the next one, guys. Ta-ta.